And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, all about helping you win in any marketplace, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check us out online, consumerqb.com. And we would love for you to download our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast available out there. And that would be a great favor to us, helps us improve in the rankings. Follow our, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate that as well. And we've got a great lineup for you today. We're going to have Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister on the program. He's coming up in just a couple of segments here. And we also have Michelle Geskey on the program as well, Keller Williams Real Estate. And Captain Will Smith Aviation here on the program today. And a quick shout out to Replenish IV Solutions, longtime friend of the program. If you want to feel energized, hydrated, and replenished, reach out to Stephen and Lisa Gunnan over at Replenish IV Solutions. It's a safe and effective way to restore your body's crucial systems with those vitamins and nutrients that will enable your body to perform at optimal levels. They got multiple Bay Area locations, and you can find them online as well, replenishivsolutions.com. And a quick shout out to replenishivsolutions.com. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you so you can take them up on those special offers and incentives. All right, we like to feature our real estate listings live on air and help maximize the exposure. And we do some co-listing as well and refer deals out of state. We got a hot listing in North Carolina. This is a multi-million-dollar listing, $10 million listing of Bill DeVore's Keller Williams team up in North Carolina. 530 Heaton Forest Road is a gorgeous property. Cashiers, North Carolina. 8,000 square feet, 20-acre estate, $10 million listing. Magnificent country estate in the mountains of western North Carolina. The home features breakfast porch, patio, 4 fireplaces for those cool mountain evenings, attached 2-car garage and a 2-car carport, expansive stone driveway, guest house that has 3 bedrooms and a sitting room. It's also great for equestrian if you own horses or have that type of a lifestyle. There's barns and other outbuildings as well. 530 Heaton Forest Road, Cashiers, North Carolina. Compliments of Bill DeVore team real estate group with Keller Williams Realty. And we have Captain Will Smith Aviation. Welcome back, sir.
Good afternoon, Brandon. How are you doing?
I'm excellent, blessed and highly favored, my friend.
Yes. The Cashier's property, I've been there. It's awesome.
That's a beautiful property, isn't it?
It really is. You really have to go there to accept it and appreciate, just the nature of what's around that property.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
And the golfing communities around there are just absolutely top notch.
Yep.
I mean, you're talking about $150,000 a year, I think it was, to
be
join
a member.
up
Yep.
every year.
Yes.
$150 just to golf.
Yep.
And be a part of the club.
Yes.
There you go. So a lot of fun up there, and I hear like Michael Jordan, golfs there from time to time, things like that as well. So what are you seeing in the aviation space, man? We talked about a lot of things over the last few weeks, but
yeah, it has its peaks and valleys, but the big issue right now is obviously pilots they're being overworked. They're hitting their duty times. The other thing that really kind of messes with a lot is I flew back in Sunday from Indiana.
Yeah. And
we landed at 10:30 in the morning, and there was a Congo line of at least 13 commercial aircraft waiting because they had a full ground stop because ATC, once again, it's always goes back to ATC, Federal Air Traffic Control.
Okay.
They had a flow issue. They were 25 miles in trail, and the longest delay was 120 minutes. So these people are sitting on these planes in this Congo line. You can't get out of the Congo line because you get out of the then you have to go back to the line again.
Wow.
So they got to sit there and wait their turn until they're released by ATC. And once again, the issue is the federal government overstepping and doing too much of this mandate crap, these masks, and the controllers have had enough of it.
And the jabs.
Yeah, and the jabs too. Yeah. And they've had enough. So it's, when every time the government does something, it affects us as the consumer.
Yeah, it's a reaction.
Yes, in every reaction, there's equal and opposite reaction. This reaction is negative. And these guys, some of the planes were pulling out of the Congo line because the pilots had hit their duty time by then and couldn't fly anymore.
Wow.
And so they had to put a new crew on.
Yep.
Some of them were they had so many people on the plane, they burnt through fuel that now they didn't have enough fuel to get to where they need to do, and they're alternate, so they had to go back and refuel.
Right.
And this creates issues, and
Right.
and it's not fair to the consumer because the big government wants to stick their nose where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, absolutely. And under the false premises of, first of all, it's not a vaccine. They changed the definition of a vaccine. It's an mRNA. It actually changes your genetic DNA and the composition. But yeah, so it's amazing what happens. But it all goes back to money. You follow the money. Where's the greed come from? It comes from the big tech or the big pharmaceutical companies.
Of course, yeah, they're going to make the money, and we're lab rats. And myself and you, we didn't do the jab.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to expose ourselves to that kind of long term. We don't know how this is going to affect us 6 years from now.
Yeah.
Through the whole process, I never got sick once.
Right.
And I don't know if it's because my father was against vaccinations when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't put me in a public school, because they required, the child to have a vaccination. But
right.
I do know that I'm a lot different. My mom recently, and she's 85 years old, she got tested positive for COVID, and she blew right through it like a soldier.
Really? 85 years old?
85 years old.
Yeah.
But she was against vaccinations in the earlier years, back in the 70s and 80s. Yeah. So I don't know if there's any parallels there, but
there's something for therapeutics. Something said for therapeutics, and they they totally didn't want you talking about therapeutics. And if you did, you were ostracized. Even traditional Democrat / lefties on social media, different figures that were well known. We're talking with Captain Will Smith here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Will Smith Aviation on the program. Private flights throughout the state, southeast, pretty much wherever you want to go, he can take you. Right?
Yeah, I'm working with several different charter companies. It's gotten so busy to where they're just tired of the delays, the not making it from point A to point B. When you take a vacation, and you got to look at this. You take off a certain amount of days for your vacation.
Yeah.
Well, if you can't get back from your vacation to get to your job in time because the federal government wants to, do what they're doing, but creating these delays, creating these issues, then what do you tell your employer? I can't make it in because, our flight was canceled or our flight was delayed. They're now telling you when you go on a cruise to show up 2 days prior to the cruise disembarking. Yes,
no
2 days.
Way.
So if you have to, if your ship leaves on Sunday, they're saying be there on Friday because of the delays.
Just in case.
In case your flight gets canceled,
it's ridiculous, man.
You can make the trip because the ship's going to sail whether you're there or not. And this just creates more, like I said, more money because you're not buying a hotel room for 2 days. Yep. It's ridiculous.
It's close. It's one step closer to communism.
Oh yeah.
And you look at the uncertainty that it creates, right? I mean, the uncertainty. We're seeing that in the real estate space right now. The uncertainty is killing people. It's killing, the offers. Normally, you list properties, boom, you got a lot of, interest, multiple showings, some, potentially offers coming in. But no, you're not. You're just it's slowed down because of the increase in rates, the uncertainty because people, they see all this ridiculousness on the news, and it's just crazy how that's affecting people. But I got a clip I want to play. I want to talk about the ESG. I kind of beat that drum a little bit for folks because I think it's one of the most underutilized, or basically something where people don't really understand it the way it works. And it works through the asset managers kind of on a higher level. But this is a clip from the Charlie Kirk Show with Vivek Ramaswamy.
One of the things I've been doing is holding that movement to task for what it actually stands for. So the short answer is it stands for environmental, social, and governance factors that are supposed to influence how capital is invested in the economy. What does that mean? It's anyone's guess, but what it has come to mean in practice is that there is one political end of the spectrum that is representing its views in corporate America, using the investments of everyday Americans to do it. So I'll make it really specific for you. What's basically happening is a small group of asset managers who pledge allegiance to this philosophy, ESG. Firms like BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, three of the largest asset managers in the world right there, together managing over $20 trillion. That's more than the GDP of the United States. What they do is they aggregate the money of everyday citizens, probably many of the listeners of your program included in that, maybe you and I too. And what they do is they take our money, but then they invest in companies across corporate America and tell those companies that you have to abide by these climate goals, that you have to abide by these emissions caps, that you have to abide by these diversity, equity, inclusion standards and racial quota systems in your boardrooms. And if you don't, then we're going to fire you as CEO. Then we're going to take seats on your board. Then we're going to cut your pay. And that's the lurking variable behind the woke capitalist epidemic.
It's crazy, isn't it? You know, the ESG, people don't realize how big of a deal that is. $20 trillion that are controlled by BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. Wow. And you know what else they're doing? They're investing in real estate. They're buying up real estate that could normally be sold to a veteran or a first-time home buyer or just a young couple that says, hey, we just got married. We just, both graduated school last year. We're ready to start our lives. Lives the American dream. But no, you got to compete with these woke companies like BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard that are, basically following the government's guidance, by the way, ESG, which stands for environmental, and social, of course, the diversity, equity, inclusion, and then the corporate governance. Right. So that's what's happening, and it's happening on a major scale. And we've got to, as conservatives, God-fearing Christians, and Jewish people, people that believe in an afterlife and believe in good, we've got to stand up against this.
We have to, and socialism doesn't work. I've been to Cuba. I've been to Venezuela. I've been to third world countries where socialism has killed the entire country and killed the people. Yeah. And this is what aggravates me. All these little wokists that have never left the state that they live in, they have no idea how other people live in third world countries. They have no idea how people live that are from socialism in those countries. Yeah. I took my wife to Cuba so she could see. She's like, I had no idea. Yeah. And this is they need to go. I mean, if they want it that bad, go live in that country. Yeah. And they will change their minds. Yeah. And it's getting out of hand, but we have a great country, and the people are now standing up and they're fighting back. Yeah. And they're not going to put up with it because of the people, these woke people out there. They're a small percentage of what's really going on. There are Americans out there that are coming out to vote, and they're going to fight, and they're not. I mean, even seen some people from the Democratic Party. They're getting all sick and tired of it. Right. It's getting so crazy. So, yeah, I don't. It's unfortunate, but hopefully, and I know we will overcome. Greed is the root to all evil. And if you ever read the Canterbury Tales, you'd understand, what I'm talking about when I say that. Yeah. But and that's what you're seeing here. Yeah, absolutely. It's a little scary too with the midterm elections here. Now they're talking about this new variant, and just in time so they can do mail-in voting again, and fraudulent and don't ballots. Buy into that. There's, in my opinion, there is no variant. They're just used as a scare tactic. It is scaring the people to stay home, not go out and vote because they think they're going to get the sniffles. Well, it's the word. You know what? That's why you have an immune system. That's why you don't get the jab, because what you're doing is you're telling your own body's immune system that it's not necessary anymore. Yeah. If I took my dog, and I saw this, and I'm taking this from something I read on social media. If my dog had 3 rabies shots in 1 year and still got rabies, I'd ask a question. Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, it's not working. That's it. So, Will, where do you want folks to find you? Will Smith Aviation, you got the .com there? Yeah, if you want to get hooked up in some good charter companies here in the Tampa Bay area, go to willsmithaviation.com. I can put you in contact with them. Being the price of gas has gone up, it's gotten, of course, more expensive to travel because everything's based on fuel. And if you just want to read about my books, the movie opportunities, that's starting to come around again. I'm seeing more interest in the movie. You can go to CaptainWillSmith.com. That has all the information on me, my story, when I went through my books. You can find my books on Amazon. I suggest if you want one and get it quick, go to Amazon. You can get either book, Ditches to Riches or Falling from the Sky. Ditches to Riches is really taking off. It's helping a lot of people overcome adversity. And I see more sales in the Ditches to Riches. And people just want to hear about the story, where Ditches to Riches came from. You can also find that on Amazon as well. Nice. All right, good stuff. Thanks for coming in. Captain Will Smith, willsmithaviation.com, captainwillsmith.com. Longtime friend of the program, back in 2013 or something like that. Oh, yeah, when we first started, that was over a Clear channel. Back in the day. Before iHeart, now here. Yeah, man. Awesome. All right, buddy. Well, all right, man. Be safe out there. Okay. And we'll see you next time. Let's go, Brandon. The there we go. All right, coming up.
Brandon Rhymes, a consumer quarterback. Sell, Brandon, sell.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. Any of our listeners out there, we'll offer you a 2% listing for the first 3 callers that reach out to the hotline, 813-917-1894. Call or text the hotline 813-917-1894. Also, a great opportunity for folks out there looking for a part-time gig, maybe a side hustle, is Keller Williams Real Estate School, powered by Capt. Reach out if you'd like more information on how we have a free real estate school for you, online class, get licensed, and start referring business in, or maybe make a new career. 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com for our syndicated radio and TV show on 80 outlets worldwide, consumerqb.com, or our real estate website at platinummvpteam.kw.com. That's platinummvpteam.kw.com. And please follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram, Twitter, Getter, and check out our YouTube channel, Brandon Rhymes Realty. Make it a great day. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Have you desired more income and more freedom in your life? Now is your time. Keller Williams Realty has just launched our own real estate school, and you can get licensed for free. I'm Brandon Rhymes, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And for the first 3 people who reach out, I will personally coach you. 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com. ConsumerQB.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister coming up here later on the program, and we're going to talk with Michelle here in just a moment. Before we do, we like to feature our real estate listings live on air, help our sellers profit more and sell faster, utilizing our innovations with radio, TV, and internet marketing. We got a property at 27641 Lincoln Place in Wesley Chapel. This is 3.24 acres, a beautiful property. You got 4 bedrooms, 4 bath, over 3,000 square feet, located in Saddlewood Estates, and it is a beautiful floor plan, great layout, and you got the pool, the spa, a great opportunity. You got lots of land there as well, 3.24 acres, and breathtaking views of a conservation area, Butler's Bar, service area, screened-in pool and lanai, and just minutes from the Grove in Tampa, the Tampa Premium Outlets and Wiregrass Mall. 27641 Lincoln Place, Wesley Chapel, one of our hot real estate listings. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, Michelle Geskey, welcome to the program. Welcome in.
Well, thanks for having me, Brandon. I'm happy to be here.
My pleasure. Absolutely. So Keller Williams Real Estate and new to the Platinum MVP team.
And so excited about that.
Yeah, real excited. Thank you for joining the team and looking forward to, working with you on some stuff. And I know you got a great background as a veteran yourself as well.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. And I think this is something we've been talking about for probably over a year.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Do you want to know why I finally decided to join your team?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, that's pretty easy. I have a lot of passions in life, as we'll discuss today, and I believe that you align yourself with the right people, and you can do bigger and better things. So
That's
I think this quote says it the best from my favorite, John Maxwell. I want to make a difference with people who are making a difference, doing something that makes a difference at a time when it makes a difference.
Nice.
So, getting to know you and Lindsay, and we really have a great connection, and I have great feelings, so I just said yes.
Awesome. I love it. I'm excited. We're excited about that too. And let's talk a little bit about, the military side, because I know, with your experience and Tampa being such a big part of, associated with the VA and the governor's, Governor Ron DeSantis, the great governor that we have, what an awesome guy, says governor's message, Florida's proud to be the most military veteran-friendly state in the nation. As a veteran, I will make sure our state continues to honor the countless sacrifices made by our 1.5 million veterans who call our state home. And so he's talking about different programs that they've implemented in the Florida, with the veterans.
Absolutely. And I've had firsthand been able to experience the awesome programs he's put in place. So a little bit about my background. Yeah. I'm going to tell my age here, but back in 1991, I first joined the military as a 21-year-old.
Nice.
I didn't aspire to be in the military, but my big brother was in the military. So I just, after 2 years of college, got in my car and drove to Boston and joined the military.
Wow.
I was 5 years enlisted. I came to Florida, to Tampa. I went to USF and I attended the amazing ROTC program they have there. And then in 1998, rejoined the military as a commissioned officer and then continued to spend, almost a decade more. So I transitioned out of the military in 2005. But my last job in the military, I was a captain. I was the company commander for a medium truck company in Iraq, which means I had 65 trucks, between 165 and 250 soldiers, and we did convoys in and around Iraq at one of the most dangerous times in Iraq.
Yeah, that sounds like a very interesting, demanding, 160 something vehicles. I mean, gosh, and I immediately think about the landmines and things like that. You had to be cognizant of
IEDs and ambushes and all kinds of things that went on at that time.
Yeah.
So yes.
So you learned a lot of lessons in the military then?
Yes, I actually am writing a book about that.
Nice. Okay. You have a title yet?
A lot of, I'm working on the title, but I have a program that I've written that is, from combat to corporate to being the CEO of me, because I'm very passionate about the whole person concept, your spiritual, financial, spiritual, financial, self-development, your career, your health. It's all one big part of who you are. And you can't be 100% healthy as a veteran or anybody else for that matter without all of them. So that's about my experiences in the last 15, 16 years that I've gone from combat to where I am right now. Yeah,
that's awesome. It's kind of like all on that wheel. You got all those different spokes extending out from the center hub, and you got to take care of them. And if one of those suffers, then it affects the other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
kind of see that. What are you seeing out there in the marketplace right now?
In the marketplace, as far as buyers, veterans sellers, or anything? Okay, so I handle actually a lot of buyers from other places, California, New York, New Jersey, Canada, and I see a lot of people wanting to wait because they think that there's going to be some kind of downturn in the economy.
Right.
And I absolutely, talk to them and share the facts and get them to buy now, even if you buy something and rent it out.
Right.
I had a call this morning from one of my Canadian clients, and they are having this big scare again for COVID, and they have people afraid to leave the country and come and visit. And then on the way over here, I had another one of my Canadian clients call, and he's the opposite. He wants to get to Florida and buy. It's just family issues and school, prohibiting that from happening right now. But still, people are waiting for prices to drop.
Yeah, it's uncertainty.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
The uncertainty. What about rates? What about values? Things like that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Michelle Geskey here on the Consumer Quarterback Show and Keller Williams Realty Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And we have Sheriff Chad Chronister coming up later in the program as well. We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group. And you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rives.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Johnny, are you good to continue? Okay, everyone, please stand by.
Five, four, three, two, one.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, helping you win in any marketplace. We like to feature our real estate listings live on air, and we got a hot listing here in Tampa. This is a property that we've got on Safe Harbor Drive, 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. This is $1 million listing, a beautiful property, 1.15956 million to be exact, 52,000 square feet, 5,200 square feet, that is, 5 baths, gorgeous estate-style home. The estate's at White Trout Lake right here in Tampa Bay, kind of close to Carrollwood area, just off of Dale Mabry area here. 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. Granite countertops, new appliances, pool, heated spa, large fenced-in corner lot in a gated community. Got a spiral staircase up to the second floor with a private elevator. Gorgeous property, 2803 Safe Harbor Drive in Tampa. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, you can buy some dirt also. That's a good song. I like that tune, right?
I love it.
So buy dirt. We got vacant land listings, about a dozen other vacant land listings available for sale. Just put one under contract or LOI yesterday too at $2.6 million. Another one of our development deals. So yeah, some good stuff out there with the Consumer Quarterback Show, as well as Michelle Geskey joining the team, the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Real excited. Lindsay and I are real excited to have you. And I want to jump right into, with your veteran background, that's going to be one of our points of emphasis. Also, sports and entertainment division. There's a lot to talk about. The Keller Williams Real Estate School opportunity, K-Score, some really cool programs to discuss. But let's go back into the veterans. According to a report published by the United States Department of Veteran Affairs, the VA, there's analysis that indicates that an average of 20 veterans die from suicide per day. And that's just sad news right there. Yes,
it's a very sad statistic. I've done a lot of charity work in the past for avoiding the 22 a day. And my company, when I left in 2005, just to give you a little bit of perspective, some of the soldiers that I keep in touch with via Facebook, people have done 10 to 12 more deployments. We've had 11 suicides just from my company alone.
Wow.
So, it hits close to home. And that's why I am so passionate about helping people with the transition process, because you get out of the military, and some of the things that I experienced, number one, are, the pace of the civilian world compared to the military. When I was in the military, it was constant, go, 2 to 5 hours of sleep. You never stop. I traveled to 28 different countries. I mean, I was active from the age of 21 till mid-40s when I got out. So you cannot compare the two different lives. And then your job in the military is to keep people alive. At least that's what my job was. Keep people trained, keep people alive. And you get out and then you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. It's very slow. Nobody's dying here. Yeah. And so you try to go into the corporate world, and in the military, a handshake means something. Yeah. Honor means something. Leave no man behind. So you and I both know that's not what the corporate world is like sometimes. So there's some hard lessons to learn. So all of these things compound, and we're all, I'm an A-type personality. A lot of the special ops guys are A-type personalities, and we're seeing suicide with everybody. It doesn't have a name or a rank or a job. And if people don't understand what they're going through while they're going through it, and then that happens.
Yeah. So what advice would you give, veterans when they're transitioning?
Well, the advice that I would give ties right into what our amazing company, Keller Williams, has done by starting the military, KW military last year. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because my number one advice would be to surround yourself with good people, to have a tribe and camaraderie and a positive environment. You know, for me, it's faith. If you don't have a higher power or faith, then, you know, God saved my life. I'll just say that live on air. You have to have faith. You have to surround yourself with great positive people in an environment. And you have to take action, even if you don't know what your passions are. Take action to something and, you know, let that lead to other things. And lastly, I'll say, realize and honor what you've been through. You know, I've learned a lot about the brain. You can only compartmentalize for so long. It will rear its ugly head, whether it's in 1 year, 5 years, 20 years, but it will. So there's nobody that comes back from combat that's the same. And you have to really accept that and use the resources in the great state that we're in.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Michelle Geskey here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, and she's a member of the Keller Williams Military Division. Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment Division is kind of cool, too. What's your initial response to, because it's kind of new, I guess it's like 6 months or so now, Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment Division?
You know, that ties right into one of the points when I said take action. Take action on something creative. Do something creative. Have a creative outlet. A lot of times we define ourselves by our career and our job, and we forget about the creativity. But I've started to get into some writing and speaking and acting and some, you know, modeling, things that take me out of my comfort zone, but they all tie back into the Keller Williams Sports and Entertainment. So my experience has been wonderful because we have the top, as you know, you're a member of Sports and Entertainment, the top 1% of agents around the country and around the world that can take care of our athletes and our entertainers and handle everything for them, logistics and planning and the different services and real estate that they need. They're frankly too busy to deal with the details. So we handle that for them. So
and it was pretty cool the other day being on that Zoom call, that nationwide call that we were on with the head of Instagram Sports. You know, so it's kind of neat, these different connections we have, the people that we're in that circle with now, and the influences that we have there, and the connections. I mean, that's a big part of it.
Well, if we have time, I'll tell you, I just flew to LA and I sat on the plane and really befriended a music producer. So he was comparing renting in Hollywood versus buying something. And I got off the plane, I called my person in Hollywood and connected them, and then we'll be getting a referral fee for that if they move on to a purchase. And then the same thing on the way back, I sat with a screenwriter on the plane.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's funny.
So, you know, it's nice to be able to pick up your phone and go into your contacts around the country.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it sure is. And that's a big part of it, is just the, you know, the connections that you make. And, you know, talk about the military. I sometimes mention this story. So coming out of high school, I was recruited as a quarterback, an option quarterback, you know. And I had an opportunity. I got a full ride offer to play at football at the Naval Academy. So they offered me a full ride scholarship, but I turned it down. You know, went to USF and, you know, the hometown team, and, you know, had an opportunity to earn a scholarship there. But, you know, it was pretty neat. I would have come out an officer, you know, after so many years. And I remember my uncle, who was big on that, you know, he wanted me to do that. And he said, "Oh man, you could have been an officer." It was just too much of a commitment for me, coming from South Florida. And they flew me up in January, and it was freezing cold outside, snow on the ground, you know, so it's a big kind of a shock in a lot of different ways. But, you know, I had my opportunity there, but I didn't take it.
You know what? You had different opportunities, and a lot of people say that to me, and I believe that God has a purpose for everybody. And I don't believe everybody's meant to serve in the military. And I believe we're meant to take our pains and everything we went through and turn it into a purpose. And, you know, that's what we're doing. So you do have a part in influencing a great deal of veterans, and you just
Right.
had a different avenue and a different purpose to do that. And you're fighting like crazy for our country. So,
that's right. Different ways. Yeah, different ways of influencing, different ways of being a part of that. So we're about out of our time here, but I want to kick it back to you. Final thought or anything that you wanted to cover that we didn't get to today, Michelle Geskey.
You know what? I'd like to, offer, if it's okay with you,
Sure.
for our team, any veterans who text into your number with veteran,
Yeah.
whether they want some coaching or business advice getting into real estate, or they want to sell their home, we can give them a discounted rate on that and
Cool.
just help them through that process. So
Absolutely.
you name the number of veterans and
Yeah. Well, yeah. Reach out to the show. The first 3 listeners that call and text in to 813-917-1894. Just call or text the hotline. We'll put you in touch with Michelle, and she can help you buying, selling, or investing. 813-917-1894. One veteran to another, especially if you're a veteran out there. I know that's a big thing. From the mentorship side and people that have been in that. Been in those boots, right? Those military boots, so to speak. So Michelle Geskey, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams. What's your website too? Or social media? How do you want people to find you?
Social media is my name, Michelle Geskey, or This Tampa Life. And I've already signed a few veterans up for the free real estate school, as
perfect.
well as Keller Williams military. I'd like them, they come on our team, and we have a whole military program to help them with the transition.
That's awesome. Yep, the luxury division, the sports and entertainment division, Keller Williams military. A lot of good stuff, a lot of options, and the Keller Williams Real Estate School, free online school. I've got a commercial that runs during the show reminding our audience about that as well. So
Can't beat that.
yeah, it's awesome. Good stuff. Well, thank you very much, Michelle.
Thank you for having me, and
My pleasure.
see you soon.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister going to be joining us on the program. We're going to talk about some of the strategies that you can employ, hurricane preparedness, safe boating, recruitment, and some other things as consumer advocate tips from the sheriff himself, Chad Chronister, coming up next on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Warwick Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, in studio with Martine Gramatica, that is, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer Super Bowl winner. Lifeguard Imaging, lifeguardimaging.com, saving lives through early detection.
Thanks for having me, Brandon. Yes, that's what we're doing at Lifeguard Imaging. You come in asymptomatic, and that's what we do. You're being proactive. You're coming in. We do a scan from the neck to the pelvis. It's a full body scan. It's a 3D image of every organ, and that's where 90% of the deadliest cancers are, in our mid-region. So we can see everything. But for your listeners, we have a real good special. We have a $599 value, absolutely complimentary. They can come in for a coronary artery scan, which will give you their calcium score, 100% complimentary for your people.
Very cool. Hey, take them up on that offer, 813-917-1894. Call or text, complimentary scan, 813-917-1894, and check them out online, lifeguardimaging.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes, helping you win in any marketplace. And we like to feature our real estate listings live on air. We got a property at 7643 Stony Hill Drive in Wesley Chapel. Gorgeous property, just hit the market. Beautiful home, listed around $450,000, $449,000 price point. We got 1,800 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, no CDD, and you have a low HOA fee. Desirable Palm Cove community, oversized waterfront lot on a conservation, top-of-the-line appliances, new AC, smart thermostat as well, lots of community pool, 3 playgrounds, dog parks, basketball court available. 7643 Stony Hill Drive in Wesley Chapel. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. This is God's country. All right, we got Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister back on the program. And welcome back, Sheriff.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Hey, doing great. Excellent. Thanks for joining us, spending some time. I know you're very busy out there keeping everybody safe in the county, and got some talking points here. So one of the main talking points you have are lock up at lights out. More than half of all car burglaries in Hillsborough County happen because cars are left unsecured.
You're exactly right, Brandon. This is where we can make it hard on thieves. 3 out of 4 car burglaries are because we leave our doors unlocked. How about this? 2 out of 3 cars that are stolen is because we leave the key fob in the car. I mean, we can make it hard on thieves. Just remove your valuables and lock your car doors.
Wow. Man, we're making it easy for them. It's too easy.
Yeah, like I said, this was an easy one. It's a simple one. So this is a big campaign. Listen, before lights out, make sure you lock up. Make sure every item that you've worked hard for is out of your car. Make sure your car doors are locked. And that includes your key fob, so they're not getting in and taking your car. Like I said, we can keep ourselves from being victims real easy by taking a couple extra steps.
Yeah. Also, school safety. You know, the Uvalde incident was so unfortunate, and there's been a lot of controversy about the procedures and why they didn't go in right away. School safety is such an important topic as well.
It is. I think we could talk till tomorrow morning about this. And to be honest with you, I'm very proud of everything we've accomplished in a short period of time to make sure that the kids that go to schools in Hillsborough County are some of the safest kids, I believe, not just in the state, but in the country. You can never plan or be prepared for anything that happens, but we really worked hard. We've worked hard with the school to make sure that we have single entry and exit points, that we've set up real-time cameras so we know where everyone's at. The fencing that's been developed around the school to make sure that people just don't have free access to the school. And the ballistic film that's been put on some of the windows in the more vulnerable areas. The bidirectional antennas where the law enforcement can actually now communicate with other law enforcement, with school administrators. Think about this for a second. Our schools are designed to be our hurricane shelters. Well, that poses a communication problem, and that was certainly the cause down in South Florida. We've removed that. We make sure that communication is not an obstacle anymore. So, along with the fact with the drills that we do, and then the fact that they're trained, they're sheriff's office trained. We have deputies in all the middle schools and high schools, and then we train school security. Here's another great point. 95% of school security that's protecting our young people, our elementary school students, are retired military or law enforcement. And every year they go through recertification on active shooter. They're getting ready to do it next week, and we throw a million different scenarios at them, and the training's not easy, either to become a school resource school security officer or remain there. But we're focused on that, and the school's been really good about making it a priority, hiring more mental health counselors to make sure our children have access before they get into some type of mental health crisis. And lastly, it's how we respond to a situation. It all comes back to training. Our deputies are trained. They're not to wait for anything. They have their long guns, their rifles if they need to. They have their ballistic vests, their shields. If something happens, go stop the threat and stop it now. So we continue to focus on training. And then lastly, I have to talk about the fact that it's not a joke. When we get a phone call or we hear on social media or something comes up where that child thinks it's funny to go ahead and say that, hey, there's a school threat, I'm going to shoot everybody with this, and post pictures of them and a handgun. Listen, you wouldn't do it in an airport. Don't do it in a school. This is one time, and you know that I'm very big on second chances and fixing people and helping people. But this is where I have a zero tolerance policy, because we send the cavalry, and we can't wait 5 minutes. Nonetheless, in the morning, we're heading out until we can unfound that threat or find it a very credible threat. So there's a zero tolerance. So parents, if you're listening, please make sure your kids know that they're safe. On the same side of the coin, make sure they know that it's never a joke to talk about school violence.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. We're talking with Chad Chronister here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's the Hillsborough County Sheriff, right here taking care of all the folks in Tampa Bay and Hillsborough County. And I'm on the Instagram page as well. HCSO Sheriff is the Instagram handle. It's got a lot of great content on his Instagram page as well. And we are in hurricane season, Chad. What's your thoughts out there to the folks in our audience out there about hurricane preparedness?
Yeah, another important topic, and that's just being prepared. We know in a moment's notice, hurricanes, as great as people are trying to predict there's a lot of uncertainty. They're unpredictable, as great as technology has been. And the best way to survive a hurricane is being prepared. Being prepared. What I mean by that is knowing if you're in an evacuation zone, if you are, which one, to be able to keep track of that. And then have a disaster kit prepared. You know, those essential items that you have to have. Have a plan in place. Okay, if we have to evacuate, where are we going? Where are we going to go? And then again, it's just staying informed. Make sure when that happens, we know it's going to happen, and that you're prepared. You have your disaster kit. You have a plan. Making sure that you stay informed. We're going to put out a ton of information, keep you updated, and people are always worried about those items if they have to leave them behind. And listen, that's our job. We'll make sure no one messes with any of your items that you left behind. But make sure you're prepared. What are you going to do if a hurricane comes? What are you going to do with your loved ones? And what I mean by that is your pets. What are you doing with those? Have a plan in place. Be prepared. The time is now.
Yeah, absolutely. Sheriff Chad Chronister here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And how are you seeing recruitment? I know there's been the defund the police movement over the past years, and it seems like that's kind of come down, fizzled out a little bit, with midterm elections, things like that coming up. But how is recruitment going for the HCSO?
We're still hiring. I know a lot of agencies around the country, they're not hiring. They're just losing employees where they don't have their community support, their legislative support. We have that here in Hillsborough County. They love their sheriff's office. They love their law enforcement. People love the city of Tampa, and they're coming here to work in Hillsborough County. But with that, I have to give the caveat. I mean, we're short. We're very short. There were a lot of people that took early retirements. We're growing. All the growth that we were predicting 15 to 17 years is a 3 to 5 year growth now. So that creates a challenge. We have to hire 60 new positions each year for the next 7 years to keep up with the growth, and we still face a manpower shortage. So I think it's a great place to work. It's great benefits. Anyone who's looking and wants to explore, please go to joinhcso.com. We've made it extremely easy. I think the pay is great. And I think the benefits are great. And to be honest with you, there's no greater reward than working for a community that is so grateful for their law enforcement.
Yeah, absolutely. We love our law enforcement around here for sure. And so some of for our audience, some tips, things to think about. See something, say something. What does that mean to you, Chad?
Yeah, if you see something suspicious, Brandon, you've always watched, anytime we have some type of tragic incident, it always irks me when they talk to the person afterwards and someone that wants to jump on camera and says, listen, I knew my neighbor was this, or hey, I knew that person in the movie studio was this, or the movie theater was this. There's always someone who knew something was wrong, something felt off. But you're at the Lightning game, you're at the Raymond James Stadium watching a Bucks game, and you knew something was off, but you never said anything. So I don't think I could say it enough. If you see something that's suspicious, when the hair on the back of your neck stands up, you don't have to be a police officer to have that sense, and something's off. Give us a shout. Give us a call, even if it's in your own neighborhood where you saw a car that didn't belong, or the neighbors were out of town and now someone's at their house. Listen, I always give people my word. We will never get upset if you call us and it was something simple like, oh, well, that was my aunt. I didn't know they were coming into town. Or, hey, listen, this person was just doing this. We'll never get upset. We will remain eternally grateful because the one time you don't call is the time something tragic could have been avoided.
Yeah, absolutely. And, yeah, it's a lot of times common sense. And you see, a lot of the shooters in these different situations, when they dig into their backgrounds, they were taking the medications. They were, involved with fatherless household. Unfortunately, that's a lot of times it's not a two-parent household. We see that happen a lot. But, you see something, say something, lock up at lights out. A couple of the, key tips here from Sheriff Chad Chronister. Chad, thank you so much for joining us. Final thoughts and how do you want folks to connect with you?
Listen, you can follow us at any of our social media avenues at HSO Sheriff, and it doesn't matter what platform. I think it's the best way to stay informed. We're constantly putting out public service announcements, information to make sure that our community is informed. Knowledge is power, and that's what we're going to continue to do. It's always a pleasure talking with you, Brandon. Thank you for everything you do to keep our community safe.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate you. Chad Chronister, Hillsborough County Sheriff. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. All right. Hey, another great show. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another and be a force for good in the community. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.